Hey everybody, it's the Redstone Wizard here again, bringing you another Redstone tutorial. This time what I got for you is another furnace array compared to the last one I did. This one is far more fuel efficient, so yeah, let's just take a look at what I got. So what I've got here is, I'm not going to show you guys how to do a layout of the furnace array because that's not important. But what I am mostly going to do is let you know how many furnaces and whatnot. But this thing is designed actually for a 91 furnace array where the items barely get finished getting smelted. I mean, we're talking less than a second of being finished smelting before another item gets put in. So it is that precisely timed. What I got here is 3 sets of iron ore for this. So let's just start putting it in. And we are using hopper minecarts for, well, they pull things out fast, and we're able to get them into the hoppers too. So it's going to travel around, and it's going to keep putting another one in. I'm using just a dropper line to put them out to get them into a single storage. But if we come down here and look at this one, just before it finishes, bam, another one gets put in. So if we look here, this is the point. As soon as it gets close, less than a second before it gets put out. And it takes 10 seconds per item. So this is technically, just with what we have, it with just one set, it's a 15-minute burn time for one furnace to handle 91, plus a lot more, plus all the fuel. We're doing this with just 91 furnaces, and like I said, it's timed so that the just before. So here we got our timer. And we've got a little, and then we got a little bit of a Pez dispenser filled with hopper minecarts, which are cycling around, just sitting right in there waiting for their turn to process. So I'm just going to let this finish smelting up. In fact, I'm just going to park myself right here, and we'll just watch those minecarts circle around. And the fuel minecarts I'm not worried about as much because you can set up for however you want to do the fuel. But let's just do a time lapse of this just finishing up. Okay guys, as you saw, it's pretty fast. And I can tell you right now that these hoppers are a little bit backed up. Not much, just enough to say, oh yeah, that's quite a bit. And our poor little hopper minecart is trying to process all of that, but yeah. That's beside the point. And we still got all our minecarts. We got one ready to go. So, I'm going to let this finish processing and we'll get started on the tutorial. So, what do you say, guys? Let's get to building this thing. Okay, guys, I'm back. And like most of the time, everything we need to build this thing is inside the shulker box. So, to get, I'm not going to worry about your guys' layout because that's strictly up to you. I'll show you a few of the rail tricks. I'll show you guys how to do the rail trick I'm doing right here. To just have them go like that. No regular rails like we have right there. Everything here is pretty much powered rails. except for that one right there. So, let's take a look at what we need. Well, we're going to need 91 furnaces and 3 times the amount of hoppers. Unless you're going to be using a hopper minecart underneath to collect all the items. But then you're going to need 1 set per. And you need to time them just the same way as with the other one. I do recommend bringing a bunch of powered rails. You can use regular rails also. You're going to need at least 4 redstone torches, 7 comparators, 7 repeaters, 3 observers, 1 sticky piston, a bunch of blocks to build with, 1 double chest, 6 pieces of redstone, at least 1 fence gate, and a bunch of minecarts, and probably, yeah, that'll be it. So, pick yourself a spot, and we're just going to line our furnaces up. Now, I'm not going to do all 91 furnaces because that will take a while, but this will get you guys the gist of what to do. After that, we're just going to place our hoppers on top, and we're going to put hoppers either in the front or the back or the side, wherever you want to put for your fuel. There. However you do the fueling system is up to you, because there is no wrong or right way to do it as long as every single furnace gets enough fuel to process all the items, then it's correct. That is crucial with this system, is they have to have enough items to be able to be processed. So let me get a couple little things here. I don't need the furnaces anymore. Don't need the hoppers. Need you. And I'll leave the rails out for now. So what we're going to do is putting a 2-block gap. We're going to go up 1 additional. Actually, we will do a 3-block gap with 1 going up. We will grab our powered rails. Now, I'm just using nothing but powered rails here, so, and we'll place it up there, and now we have an angle here. Now, to make the setup have right over here, you have to know which way rails will snap. And what I mean by that is, if I just extend this out and put these here, if I put one here, these two will connect. I can tell it just by laying it down, just laying a rail down. So if I put one here, it's not going to connect. So that's fine. But if I want to prevent that one from connecting, I just put it there and add another line, and then I could break that. Yeah, see, it's all in how the connections go. How that happens. So I'm just going to put 3 more blocks, and I'm going to put powered rails on all 3 of these, and a block behind that. I'm going to put a temporary block because this is going to be our minecart Pez dispenser. So we'll place a fence gate in there and a fence gate right there. We'll break that and place a block. The reason why we put that a rail right there instead of the block immediately is because if I break and place, it resets, and we don't want that. So yeah, always line up the rails that are going to be continuing on first before you add your other rails. And we could just power these. Get our double chest, put 1 above this rail and 1 away from that rail. So this is our, so we'll have an open gap here, which is fine. It's not important, other than for spacing. We're going to place a block up, a block behind, so that we can place a comparator. We're going to put a block in front of the comparator, a block going down, and another block going up, a torch here, and dust here. We're going to place a block 1 block away with one going up. And another one. We can place a repeater right here, which will power, which then will place a torch with some dust on it, a block up and a block over, with another 2 repeaters, this one first, and then this one. Now, what this is going to do is lock this repeater in the off state when there is items in the chest. So if I throw a stack of furnaces, you notice it's locked in the off state, and that is just to add a little more time delay, and you can actually just increase it to prevent the minecart from leaving just before. If you do, if you play, and that's if you are placing in the full set of items in. So, and that's what I'm doing. So now we're going to put a block in front of that. We're going to add a block here, add here, and we're going to go out 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 blocks with a block up. We're going to throw repeaters all on one tick here. Dust here. Dust there. With comparators going into first off that block and then coming from this dust. That's going to create a decay. But we need to be able to reset it as a clock itself. So we're going to just place a torch there. Which if I throw an item in here, doesn't matter. It's going to lock, and while this is decaying, while the signal strength is reducing, it's going to allow it to reset, process the next set, and it will just keep going until this is out. And then it will reset it. So now, under here, we're going to place a sticky piston on this block. We will grab one of our 3 observers going towards where the furnaces are, or towards our chests. We'll place a block on the arm. We'll just pretty much make a V right in front of it with a repeater. You can leave it on default. And we will place a block. I'm going to switch that out for a block here and a torch. We just have to power that. I'm going to place a block up here and a block there. I can put a dust there, which will power this and open it up. And I am going to grab and put a block above that. You can put whatever you want there. We're going to place a observer. In fact, actually, I have that on the wrong spot. Okay, so I'm just going to do it the exact same way I had over there. Torch, dust, powering, whatever thing that an observer can detect. Up, over, and there we go. We will just build this up. Fair number of blocks. Okay, there we go. Yeah, these will all end up in the void. And all you have to do is just take your minecarts and go 1, 2. Just keep loading them up until they get to the point where a top portion of the minecart is on, and then that's just going to be sitting there. And take the last one. You can either set it in right here or directly on there. So now what we got here is the entire setup. What happens is I'm just going to take and throw some iron blocks in. It's actually going to pull out 91 items each time. So every single furnace is, which is why we're using 91, is because every single one will pull out 91. And that's because of how we have our signals, how we have this comparator decay clock set up. And yes, this is just designed to prevent it from launching a little premature, and that's all that is. It's just to prevent it from premature launch. Nothing major. And it'll launch, cycle back through. And each time it reuses the same minecarts over and over again to prevent any loss of, well, iron, because that can be extremely expensive if you're not if you don't have a super effective iron farm. But yeah, so if I take in, like I said, I'm going to throw in a few stacks of the hoppers instead. It's going to take it. It's going to, as soon as these are done, it pulses, launches it, and brings in the next one. That little gap also just provides just enough space for the timing to prevent them from just overloading. And when that's done, it will unlock the hopper and send that off just to finish up, and anything left, it will go in the next one. But it's not going to matter, because if we go look in here, we got 3, and 3, with a bunch of minecarts that just left the building. And yeah, like I said, it's not important that how big you make these. How many, you just have to have enough minecarts to be able to cycle through. And that I did not test because I was trying to make sure I had plenty, but it looks like having this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high full of minecarts, which gives us about 8 to 10 minecarts, is plenty for this system to constantly be running without loss of a minecart and without having a single break in the system. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments section. If it's a major issue, I do highly recommend joining my Discord. Link to that will be in the description. I'm fairly active on that. I try to answer as many questions as I can. If someone else knows something better, they will be able to answer it, because sometimes I just can't get on. If you want to support me, you can either subscribe or join my Patreon. Link for that will be in the description. But you guys, this is the Redstone Wizard. Enjoy building.